My parents secretly sold my late grandfather's land that was meant to be mine and expected me to keep quiet about it. I grew up idolizing my grandfather. He was the kind of man everyone respected, humble, hardworking, and fiercely loyal to his family. He lived on a sprawling piece of land in the countryside, a place where I spent most of my childhood summers. I'd run through the fields, climb the old oak trees, and help him in the garden. He always told me that one day the land would be mine, a place where I could build my future. "Promise me you'll take care of it," he'd say, his voice soft but firm. "This land has been in our family for generations, and it'll be your responsibility to keep it that way." I was young, but I understood the weight of his words. That land wasn't just property, it was our legacy. When my grandfather passed away 5 years ago, it was devastating. I was in my early 20s, just starting out in life, and losing him felt like losing a part of myself. At the funeral, my parents assured me that his wishes would be honored and that the land would remain in the family until I was ready to take it over. I trusted them completely. For years, I worked hard, saving money and making plans to move back to the land when the time was right. I dreamed of building a house there, starting a small farm, and raising my own family in the place that had meant so much to me. But all of that came crashing down when I received a phone call from an old family friend last month. "Hey," he said hesitantly, "I don't know how to tell you this, but I thought you should know. Your parents sold your grandfather's land a few weeks ago." I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. "What are you talking about?" I asked, my voice trembling. "It's true," he said. "I saw the new owners out there yesterday. They've already started clearing the fields." I hung up the phone and immediately called my parents. My mom answered, sounding cheerful as always, but her tone shifted the moment I brought up the land. "Oh, that," she said, brushing it off like it was nothing. "Yes, we sold it. Your father and I thought it was the best decision for everyone." I was speechless. "You what? That land was supposed to be mine. Grandpa left it for me." She sighed as if I was the one being unreasonable. "Well, technically it was left to your father, not you. And we needed the money. Times are tough, and you weren't doing anything with it anyway." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I wasn't doing anything with it because I was waiting until I could afford to move back and take care of it. You knew that. Grandpa trusted me with that land. Her voice hardened. "Don't be so dramatic. It's just a piece of property. You'll get over it." I hung up, furious and heartbroken. Over the next few days, I tried to piece together what had happened. Apparently, my parents had been planning the sale for months, negotiating with a developer who wanted to turn the land into a subdivision. They didn't tell me because they didn't want to deal with my reaction. The betrayal cut deep. This wasn't just about the land. It was about trust, about my grandfather's legacy, about everything he had worked for being discarded meant nothing. I drove out to the property to see it for myself, and what I found was devastating. The once beautiful fields were littered with construction equipment. The old oak trees I used to climb had been chopped down. It was like a piece of my soul had been bulldozed. I confronted my parents in person the next day. My dad tried to play the victim, saying they had no choice because of their financial struggles. "We needed the money to pay off debts," he said, looking anywhere but at me. "You could have talked to me," I shot back. "I would have found a way to help. You didn't even give me a chance." My mom chimed in, her tone dismissive. "You're overreacting. It's not like you were living there. You don't even know how hard it's been for us." "You didn't just sell land," I said, my voice shaking with anger. "You sold our family's history. You sold the place where I planned to build my future. And you did it behind my back." They had no real defense, just more excuses and attempts to guilt me for not understanding their sacrifices. I left their house that day feeling more betrayed than I ever thought possible. But I wasn't going to let this go. I started digging through public records and discovered that the sale wasn't entirely above board. My grandfather's will stated that the land should remain in the family unless there was a dire emergency. Selling it to developers for profit didn't qualify. I consulted a lawyer, and while it's a long shot, there's a chance I can challenge the sale. It's going to be an uphill battle, and my relationship with my parents may never recover, but I owe it to my grandfather to try. Every time I think about what they did, I hear his voice in my head, telling me to take care of the land. They may have sold it, but I'm not giving up without a fight. This isn't just about property. It's about honoring the man who taught me the value of hard work, loyalty, and family. I don't know how this will end, but one thing is certain. My parents underestimated just how much that land meant to me. And if they think I'm going to sit back and let them erase my grandfather's legacy, they've got another thing coming.